That 90s Show Part 2. I'm really excited to dive into this review. This has been a show I know a lot of us have been kind of talking about. It hasn't been anything crazy considering that the 90s Show is, of course, a spinoff of that 70s Show, which is just a fan favorite. I mean, that 70s Show is something I grew up on, and to be able to compare or to be able to have something else to be excited for, such as that 90s Show, has been a pleasure. And I kind of want to dive right into this. That 90s Show Part 2 has been fun, and it kind of goes the same with part one. Part one wasn't anything special, but it did what it was supposed to do. It gave us that nostalgia trip, but at the same time, it continued with a new group of characters, which I was kind of interested in. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people need with spin-offs. You can't have the entire thing based off of nostalgia because that's gonna wear off immediately. It's not gonna stay. So to kind of have part two come around and although there are tons of cameos that I really enjoy, it's carried by the actual characters that we were introduced to in part 1, and, that's one thing that I really like, but, without giving too many spoilers away, I am really invested with what we've gotten here, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. Of course, the uncomfortable teen moments, such as the cringe moments, and like there was parts where I literally had to look away because of how kind of cringe certain moments were, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're just portraying the teen awkwardness so well that I am having trouble with certain sequences, and I feel like that is kind of crucial with the teen show, you know? I mean, nothing here is going to be perfect. I mean, a majority of these years are supposed to be awkward and it's great. Of course, I do want to let you guys know we still have these circle moments, the prime chiefing moments, if you will. I don't know what I'm allowed to say without getting demonetized, but at the end of the day, it is really cool to have some of the things that made that 70s show really fun be carried over to that 70s show be carried over to that 90s show, and it still works, it makes it fun. It's something I really enjoy. As soon as I see it happening immediately, I'm just like, oh my god, this is it. And to just see how certain personalities kind of switch when the circle happens, it's just so fun because it just reminds me of the iconic days with Kelso and Donna and just the OG group, and it's one thing that I really do like. So diving into this, it's something. It has that vibe, but at the same time, it stands on its own. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be up to you guys because I know again it's a matter of hit or miss when it comes to spinoffs. So even though we did get a part two, it's super exciting, and I don't know, me personally, I feel like I kind of like it a little better than the first part. I mean, it kind of stands out a little more to me. I don't know how you guys will feel about that. Although I love the cameos, we're not getting like too many to the point where it's all I care about in that one episode. It's just the stories and what's happening in this season are enough for me to actually be invested without being like, okay, this is cool, but when's Eric popping up? When's this person popping up? When's this person popping up? But it's just it's still fun. But they managed to just have people pop in left and right, and it's entertaining, but it still fits without it feeling forced. And that's what I like. That's what I liked about part one. One thing that I do like, but of course, after the events of the last season, that's gonna kind of trickle over here. It's gonna be important. Of course, if you guys seen the trailer, you guys have an idea of what's happening because of course, I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end of the day, I do like how it's not just a simple sitcom where it's just episode to episode, everything's different, nothing carries over. It's doing the same thing that some of the other shows like That 70 Show or some of the other, prime shows did, or elite sitcoms did, and then that's one thing again that I'm really enjoying. The fact that there are consequences to some of the things that, say Leia and Nate got up to. So that's carrying over here. Some of it kind of is fast paced and a little too quick and they get over things, but at the same time, some things do carry over. And one thing that I really am enjoying so far in this season is the kind of development or the relationship between Nikki and Nate, who of course are two of are they're a great duo, but at the same time, I'm really excited to see what they've been doing in this season. it's been a plus. So again, I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Overall, I'm happy with the show. It hasn't been anything like insane, anything great, but at the end of the day, it's been a really fun sitcom to just sit back to and just kind of enjoy. And I feel like that's what kind of part one did. It wasn't anything great, but you turn your brain off and you're enjoying it. It's pretty simple. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say. So I guess I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, it's a matter of just how you felt about part one is how you're gonna feel about part two, because essentially it's kind of the same vibe. Nothing has changed drastically other than the fact that I'm loving how involved the main cast is. They don't feel like when another character pops up from the OG show, they don't feel sidelined. They feel important, and I am liking what they're doing with the story. It feels a little more put together than the first season, from what I remember at least. So I'm enjoying it. So all in all, I think part two is a great watch. I think it's fun. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, stay tuned.